What's up, everyone? We're back at my YouTube channel, and today is the last tournament update I will have for you in the Obsidian Flames or 151 format before we jump fully into Paradox Rift. This past weekend, I had a League Cup and a League Challenge. League Challenge, I slept through. Did not make it to the League Challenge, but for the League Cup, I went ahead and sent Lugia. Again, when you're playing a lot of decks, you have decks you like, decks you don't. You guys have seen this season that I have brought Lugia to 2 separate regional championships, so you know that Lugia has been a little bit one of my more favorite decks. I just chose to take the same Toronto list that I've been playing for quite a while to the Cup. The number one reason was because I was too lazy to build a new version, and my local area has been known for playing a lot of Tina and Miraidon are very popular in my area, and a little bit of Kyogre. So I figured I would just run back to the same list I've been playing. Dunsparce makes a lot of sense in this metagame, just especially in a best of one where Miraidon is a very powerful and popular deck even. Yeah, all that being said, so I had to my Cup with this Lugia list. Don't change a card from my Toronto list. I decided to just send it. Last Cup of the Obsidian Flames format. Let's see what happens. I have 6 finishes already coming into this Cup, which is 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a top 4, and a top 8. So I need to earn a top 4 finish or better to improve on my final standing. Round 1, I go up against Lugia Rapid Strike, which was actually really interesting. My opponent sets up, attaches twice to Mew EX going first, but he ends up whiffing the Lugia turn 1, so I actually get to go ahead. And then he uses Single Strike Crush on my Tyranitar, and we both think it's a knockout. I realized after the game that it was not a knockout because he attached to DTE, so he's only doing 220 damage to my 230 damage HP Tar. But whatever, that's just like on both of us. That's entirely also on me. I just forgot DTE existed. So we just kind of like, I knocked it out. He milled his top 4. I promote Baby Yveltal that I had benched preemptively. Evolve to Lugia, get the V-Star up and running, one-shot the Mew. He comes up with his own Lugia, evolves to V-Star, passes. I retreat the Yveltal into my Lugia V-Star, attack. He still hasn't hit an Archeops, he draws, passes. I knock out the V-Star, and then he just promotes something and concedes. And then he Ultra Balled to get the Lugia like a turn prior, and when he did that, he like Ultra Balled away a Rapid Strike energy at a Spiral, and I was like, what is happening? And then he showed me his deck and showed me he plays a Rillaboom VMAX as the final attacker to kind of clean up the game. And his hand was like terrible. It was like triple Archeops and like a dead card, so I don't know why he did just Ultra Ball for Luminian to just slam Research instead of getting Lugia, because I feel like that would just be way better because you already put your Archeops in the discard, and your deck already has so many ways to find these pieces. And if he had like a more decent setup, I wouldn't have used Yveltal and I got the Mew, because we had a Mesagoza in play, so I had to like bump that too if possible. So I ended up putting the first game in this weird Lugia mirror. The second round, I end up hitting. Oh, I'm blanking really, really hard. What did I hit round 2? I'm looking at this. Oh yeah, I hit Lost Box with Raikou, and my opponent like has a pretty slow start turn 1. They went first. They had a pretty slow start. They actually Sealstone for VIP, and I was like, okay, maybe their hand's just insane. I do my whole turn. They missed the knockout on my Lugia with Raikou, but their board is like Comfy, Tomb, Dragonite, Cram, Greninja. So it's like a really just bad board. And so I end up being able to. He hits into my Lugia. I end up Jet Energying my other Lugia into the active, evolving it, getting the whole board running. Radiant Serena collapsed away my damaged Lugia, knock out the Cram, so I take first prize. He goes Raikou, Gate, does everything, one shots my Lugia, takes 2. I come up with Stonejourner, like I set up a way to get to Stonejourner. Iono, knock out the active. I have a T-Tar on bench that's powered up as well with a V-Guard. Knock out the active with the Iono. He comes up and hits me with Spit. I Radiant Serena heal. Accelerate all the Single Strike energies. I retreat the Stonejourner. Use Earn. Have 4 on T-Tar, and I just Crag the active and knock it out. and then he comes up with like does a bunch of rod stuff or goes into Sableye. Sableye puts the damage on my active and somewhere else, and I just crag again. And now I'm at 1 prize to his 4, and I don't see any merit to how he wins this game, or 3. I think he has a 3, and I'm like, well, I have to play around Horn or like Rope Horn. Kyogre, I guess, is the only play. So I fill my bench. I go get Dunsparce, and I put it down. No, not Dunsparce. Maybe it was like Yveltal. I don't know. I like load my board. I like fill up my bench, make sure I can't lose to Kyogre in his best of 1, and my opponent just loses. So I'm now 2-0. Round 3, I go up against Qian Pao, I think. No, round 3 was Mew. Round 3 was Fusion Mew. My opening hand was pretty bad. My opponent goes first, has a pretty good setup. I do my whole turn. I end up with the gift energy in the active. I have a Lugia, Yveltal, Lugia with the gift. My opponent does a bunch of stuff on that turn, and his ideal turn is Rope, Attach, Tablet, Path, right? So you're missing 4 cards. So he starts off with Attach, Tablet, and I'm like, okay, we're already looking pretty bad. He already has Seal Stone on board, hasn't used it. I'm like, okay, he needs to find 1 piece. He hasn't even used any of his 4 Genesects, none of that good stuff. He judges us. We judge. He Ultra Balls. He starts drawing cards. He gets Cram heads. He's like, nice. He goes Cram again. It crams away at Rope, and I'm just like, okay, I don't think he sees it. So he does all this. He gets the Path. He gets the Mew-Max, sorry. Now his board is 4 Genesects and 2 Mews. So no Meloetta Insight. So I have to go 3-3. Knocks out my active Lugia. The 4 cards he judges me into is like Ultra Ball, Aroma, dead card, like the energy, dead card. The 3 cards I draw are like VSTAR, Archeops, Stadium, I think, or something like that, or Research Archeops Stadium, and I'm like, oh wow. So I threw up the Yveltal preemptively, and so I end up getting bailed up at the gift energy. I feel like if you just play around the gift energy, I don't get to play there. Like, I don't play Pumpkaboo, so I don't get to actually play the game from that position. I had 0 Archeops in the discard at the end of my turn 1. I didn't even get to read the wind and Archeops away. So like I was just in a very precarious situation, and the gift energy proc actually just helped me win the game because I went 3-3 with Yveltal and then T-Tar and won the game. So yeah, 3-0. Go up against Qian Pao the next round. My opponent basically goes attach, pass to his Qian Pao, and I just knocked it out effectively. So that was pretty quick and easy. Go to 4-0. I'm now 4-0. I ID twice into top 8. Didn't think too much about bracket, whatever. I just was IDing in. I drove with my friend Dean there. So top 8. What do you know? We end up getting paired. Kind of a banger, right? So Dean and I end up hitting in top 8. And he's playing Qian Pao. I'm playing Lugia. Game 1 ends up going in my favor because Dean kind of whiffs 1 turn, and I just get to go really far ahead because every other deck, I think, can't... Like, you can whiff at least 1 turn against other decks as Qian Pao, but against something like Lugia, which is so aggressive, you just can't afford to. Game 2, Dean just completely steamrolls me. I don't even, I don't know. At some point, the prize trade was just, really bad for me. And then Game 3, I end up whiffing a singular beat on my end, and he does this Greninja play. He goes Greninja 90-90, so I had to knock out the Greninja because I whiff boss, and then he goes back, gets the Rod, gets Greninja again. 90-90 is my Archeopses, and now I'm limited to the attackers that I have, which is a Lugia and a T-Tar, which I guess is enough to close out the game. But now it's I'm playing to his pace, so super unfortunate for me to lose there. But it honestly worked out in everyone's, I think, best interest, because the other top 8 matchup that we were gonna hit or bracket into was Kyogre, or was Miraidon or Zard, and I destroy Miraidon, right? That's a free low matchup for me because it don't sparse everything, but I can't beat Zard. I don't have any answers to Zard. Zard is one of my hardest matchups with this deck. Yeah, you guys already know if you've been at this channel that I can't beat Zard very often, and so Dean ends up hitting the Zard. Qian Pao versus Zard is very Qian Pao favored. He wins, and then he ends up winning the cup, beating a Lugia in the finals. So overall, not a great run here, but not too unhappy with how we sent off this format. If you guys are still here and sticking around at this point, I will be doing a recap when I get back from LAIC of how my first quarter, or first 3-4 months of the season have gone, and how I plan on approaching the rest of the season. Points breakdown, monetary breakdown, everything will be shown if you guys are interested in that. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna be cooking from. But thank you guys for watching. As always, I appreciate the support. I'll be heading to LAIC, so expect a tournament report in about a week from Brazil, good or bad. So thank you for all the support, and peace out.